everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day Monday, which means it is September 1st. I have to tell you, again, precursor to our little chat this morning, Alyssa is out of town. So if anything goes wrong, I'm up a creek without a paddle. But I think we're good. I'm learning myself how to get the majority of this done. The little pieces, not the important pieces like actually going live with you. That I still have no concept of. But the rest of it, I've been working on a little bit. So good morning, Melanie. I see that Melanie has... when Melanie says, good morning from New Jersey, hoping to win Powerball so I can buy a home in Disney's backyard from you. LOL. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Melanie, I will send all the good mojo your way, my friend. That would be awesome. You guys are awesome. Seriously, I enjoy you guys so much. Every Monday, I get excited to be able to meet with friends because honestly, the majority of the week, it's busy, crazy, phone call, appointments, clients, talking to builders, doing this, doing that. And so it's really nice to be able to just kind of feel a little of a breath, even though it's still real estate related. I just consider you guys my friends. So thanks for joining me on Monday morning. And it is Labor Day today. Okay, my glasses are a hot mess. I'm a hot mess. Just FYI, I'm excited to be here, but I don't know if I'm all put together. I think I am. I think I got it all. Okay, we'll see. I had to clean my glasses. Okay, so yes, today is Labor Day. I believe in the U.S., here in the U.S. and in Canada, we all celebrate Labor Day on Monday, September 1st. But I believe in other countries, they still have their own version of Labor Day. Some people call it May Day, I think. Either way, it's a day to kind of to celebrate and honor all of the laborers, all of the workers that, that helped day to day, build our country, but continue to grow our country, continue to do the tasks from the biggest and most obvious and recognized to the tiniest, and seemingly inconsequential, however vital to the whole bigger picture, that bigger puzzle that we talk about in life. So so happy Labor Day to everybody. I know a lot of people are off of work. That makes me so happy. I'm not off of work. I'm here with you, but I don't feel like this is work. I have a couple of phone call things to make today, checking on a few things for some clients, but there are businesses that are open. And on that note, one of our brewing topics, we'll talk about Labor Day and some of the things that the Labor Day sales might bring to you if you've been planning some projects. I know we all have noticed that wait, Tracy, I'll get to you in a minute, Tracy. I just saw your little comment pop up. So good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Miss Susan. So I don't even know where I was going with this. I forgot because I got sidetracked. So let me go to Tracy's comment. Love the autumn decor. Yes. So last week, I know that I told you in my brain, because of the way my brain works, and because of how much I love the fall season specifically, how we don't really get much of a true fall season in Florida. One of the things I miss the most is the lack of a full-fledged spring and a full-fledged, well, we get summer all the time, full-fledged, fall and a winter. But so in my brain, September, October, those are months where for 2 months I can decorate with fall decor. And then November, December will be Christmas decor. And I know I said that to you guys last week, so I could not be a hypocrite. And so I, full disclosure, true story, I'm in temporary housing at the moment. And so I just did a little sprucing up of behind me, and added just a couple things that are a little bit more fall decor-ish. However, look at this pillow that I found. Do you see this pillow? It says, no place like Mimi's house. Memories made here. How do you not buy something if it says Mimi? Okay, there's a hair in my mouth. Okay. How do you not buy that, right? So I bought it, and thank you, Tracy, for noticing. Yes, I did. I went and got some stuff. So Susan says that she's watching, and Sarah and Maddie are watching too. Hello, Sarah and Maddie. We got to get together. So let's just say that, Susan. Let's talk after this. Jane, the UK holiday is imaginatively called late summer bank holiday. Oh, Jane, you're hysterical. That's so funny. So late summer bank holiday. Yeah, Labor Day is probably a little bit less of a mouthful, especially early morning. So on that note, let's talk about our coffee today. And eventually I'll remember what it was that I was talking about before I got sidetracked. So here's my pumpkin mug. I can't really tilt it, but I'll tilt it a little bit. You see my coffee's in there. But look at the misshapen mug, which is why I grabbed it, because the whole thing is misshapen and like kind of weird, like a pumpkin. Anyway, so it's pumpkin. Hello, pumpkin. So here's my little fall mug with my coffee that is almost gone, but I have to show something else to you. So hold on, let me take a sip. It's also hot because I nuked it right before we came on. But here's my other favorite thing. So you guys know I love my Diet Cokes. So I have to, and when we talk about my cup later, I don't have pictures for my cup, but I'll try to remember that segment and at least talk you through it. But this, I was able to put my new fall Java sock on. If you don't know what these are absolutely my favorite things. I found them years ago. I buy them. There's the little Java sock right there. I bought them years ago because of my Diet Cokes. So if you look in many, many, many of our videos, we've got the little Java sock on our drinks, and they have them in all different colors and fabrics. By the way, not sponsored by them, but Java sock, give me a call. I have them, and what's funny is my son's girlfriend, I got her one, I think, because she also likes her Diet Coke. And then the feedback was that she liked it. So funny, for Christmas last year, I got her one like for every season so that she can swap out her Java sock. But I actually just opened up this morning. I just opened this one up this morning just for you guys because I figured it matched the fall decor, the fall vibe, the fall theme. That's what I'm going for anyway. I don't know if it was a hit or if it's a fail, but these are the best. This is what they come in there, these little Java socks. And by the way, if you they go like over everything, like iced coffee or a hot coffee. It keeps it hot, keeps it cold. They have the shorter ones if you're not like the large person like I am. Anyway, I love these. So maybe they should sponsor me. I don't know how that works, but whatever. Anyway, all right, moving on. So so Sydney says, beautiful mug. Thank you. Jim, do you see Florida eliminating property taxes in the future? No. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball here in front of me, but no. I don't see that happening. But that would be fantastic if they did. But yeah, no, I don't foresee that happening. But that's a really good question. If it does, woohoo! All right, guys, let's get ourselves going, and eventually I'll remember what it was that I was talking about earlier. But let's go ahead and go to our brewing topics for the day. Hopefully, it works. Okay, so our topics today, Labor Day, again, holiday that we're in. But I remember what I was going to talk about. Seller mistakes and buyer mistakes. Some of these, it's a more kind of a more exact list. I could go on and on and on for days and days and days and hours and hours and hours and talk about, seller mistakes or buyer mistakes or tips or tricks and all those things. But sometimes it's fun just to give you a couple of those. So what I was talking about before when I lost my train of thought was that for Christmas we've all joked for a long time. Like, it seemed like, oh my gosh, school hasn't even started yet and they've already got back to school stuff and we just started summer. And then it was like, oh my gosh, why do they already have Halloween stuff out? Like, the kids haven't even gone back to school yet. And then it was like, why is there Christmas stuff? The kids haven't even gone back to school yet. So it's like everything has changed, and you go into the stores and you see all of these decorations for these holidays and these sales. It used to be, Black Friday sales the day after Thanksgiving. That was it. Like, it was Friday. It was the Friday after Thanksgiving. And there were a few times when the kids were little and, money was tight. And so, yeah, I was up at 4:00 in the morning, grabbed my coffee, got in the car, and I was out at Toys R Us when they opened at 5:00 trying to find, whatever it was that my kids wanted. But it was like, that was the day, maybe even the weekend, but it was really the Black Friday was the super big, amazing sales for a limited window of time. And now, like, they've got Christmas in July sales, Black Friday in June, and Labor Day sales happened weeks before Labor Day happened. So I don't know. It's all part of marketing. It's all part of advertising. It's all part of our retail. And candidly, I can see why the stores probably have to do a little bit more of that, because so many of us, guilty, aren't in the stores as much as we may used to have been. And we order a lot online, so they probably have to do everything they can to get people in. But anyway, point is Labor Day. So let's talk about some of the things that you can save some money on if you haven't already. I know we're into Labor Day Monday, and that technically this past weekend was kind of a 3-day weekend for everyone. But these sales, as we just said, seem to extend on. They kind of go on a little bit further. So if you haven't already and you've got some time, here's some ways and some things that you can potentially save on during the Labor Day sale. Because remember, you've got Labor Day, obviously we've got the other holidays coming up, but even like 4th of July sales that happen, Memorial Day sales, there's always these sales, and sometimes there are great opportunities for you to really save on the things for your home that are pretty pricey. So for instance, let's talk about your appliances. So, if you need a new dishwasher, okay, I swapped out my dishwasher in my own house, the previous house that we sold, the big pool. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I swapped it out because it didn't dry very well, and it was driving me absolutely bonkers. If I'm going to do the dishes, I want them to come out dry, and I tried every trick, and it was just that it wasn't a high-end dishwasher. So I ended up buying one that was a little bit nicer. Washers and dryers, right? Very big personal taste on those. So a lot of people like the front load. Some people like top load. Some people want stackable. Some people want this new amazing freaky feature where you can wash and dry all in the same machine. I know that exists because I had clients that purchased one and it works. So those are personal preferences, but those things can be pricey. TVs, they have the new picture frame TVs that are a little pricey. Things like that you want to get for your home, but on a normal day might be a little bit out of reach budget-wise, that maybe you can save on today. The other thing are like home repair projects. So maybe you were thinking of, putting up a shed in your backyard. Again, depending on where you live, may not be able to do that. But if you're like maybe doing that, or maybe you're going to do some trim work and some wallpaper, or some you're just going to kind of do a renovation in one of the rooms, or maybe you're going to swap out some countertops, or you're going to redo some flooring, things like that. Home repair projects, you can maybe save on some of those. Furniture, those are some biggies. It's actually a really good time to buy, candidly, to buy your summer outdoor furniture now, because summer is almost over for the rest of the world, but not so much for Florida. Not the world, but not so for Florida, right? We've still got hot weather. So it's a good time at the end of the season to kind of piggyback off of not only like clearance items, but maybe some of the Labor Day sales as well for outdoor furniture. Decor, right? Anytime you want to go to Kirkland's or Home Goods, you just call me. I'll be right there with you. But you can buy those decor items, all of those different stores, even if it's not Kirkland's or Home Goods. There's lots of stores out there. And then, of course, curb appeal, which is really what I mean is like lawn work. So if you've been waiting to take care of that project and, not just weed the flower beds, but maybe you want to put in some edging, maybe you want to put in or swap out some shrubs, maybe you want to add some fall color. Maybe especially here with so much new construction, our lots are kind of barren. You have a really nice landscaping package that the builder puts in when they build the home, but it's not like lush. And so maybe you want to make yours a little more lush. You want to add some more trees, or you want to swap out some shrubs. And again, as always, with anything like that, make sure that you know your HOA rules and guidelines to make sure that you don't need an approval from the architectural review committee first. In most cases, if you're doing something in your backyard, it's usually not as big a deal. Plants wise, but you do need to check, because sometimes there are communities that have restrictive trees that they don't want you to put into your yard. So anyway, but those are some things that you can save on. I've actually taken advantage of a few of these things myself over the Labor Day sales. But if you've got some other ones, let me know. And of course, if you're doing anything fun or did anything fun for the weekend, let me know. Let me see. Sydney, is everyone buffering every few seconds, or is my Wi-Fi acting up? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I'm talking just fine. So hopefully you guys can hear me now. Okay. So Kim says, yes, she bought a new patio set. Good job. See, that's good. Hopefully you got a little piggyback on that. Maybe you got like a really good deal because it was clearance as well as sale. Allie says, if anyone is having issues with the buffering, if you change your video quality settings to a lower resolution, it might help. Alternatively, skip back about 30 seconds in the live feed, and that should help as well. Just a minor issue with Amy's Wi-Fi. Yeah, we've had some issues here lately, but on my end. So far, so good. Okay, let's see. Hopefully everything is working good. Good morning, Grateful Drifter. Oh no, uh, Kendra, we accidentally dried the clothes in the washer the other day. Ah, that's so funny. I have never done that, Kendra, so let me know how that worked. And yeah, Kim, I have to change out all the builder grade faucets and showers. Yeah. So there's things that you can do over these sales that will help kind of minimize the financial bite. If you have a budget, most of us do. So take advantage of those sales. I'm sure they're still going on today. They're probably going to go on through the week, but double check. If not, there'll be another sale coming up pretty soon. Okay, so our second brewing topic. Now we're going to get into some real estate. Excuse me. Okay, is the seller mistakes. So, okay, so here, and I say seller mistakes. This is not a seller mistake that every seller is making. This is not necessarily seller mistakes that my sellers are making. This is just what I see. Sometimes it's my clients. Sometimes it's a colleague's client, because as realtors, sometimes, especially those of us that do a lot, and we're kind of having weird situations happen. We're like, are you having that too? So we talk and we share and we talk about some things that are going on. But these are some pretty obvious ones. But, I always say, what might be obvious to some might be a completely new and like eye-opening comment to others. So let's go over some of those seller mistakes. First of all, the most common one is don't overprice. Make sure that when you are doing your consultation with your realtor, when you're doing your home valuation, that you do not overprice it. Now, remember, the market is what the market is at the time that you are trying to sell. And so advice that I give someone or your realtor may have given you a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago is not necessarily the same advice that they're going to give you a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 5 months from now, a year from now. So it really has to do with what the market is doing at that time as to what is going to be more beneficial to you. But definitely you don't want to overprice your home. That's pretty much a standard. People have in their mindset, well, if I know it's worth this, I want to price it a little bit higher so that when the buyer comes in with the lower offer, we're where we want. Okay, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. That's not like a novel idea. But what you're doing is you're potentially eliminating someone from coming to see your home because it's just out of their price point. Whereas if you potentially priced it where it was, you might get a little bit more foot traffic. And especially in a time in the market where foot traffic is few and far between, even if it is priced well. So don't overprice. Don't ignore repairs. This is really, really, really smart. I have some clients, and I'm just going to, won't share the whole story, but I know that they had said in the beginning, we know we're going to, our home out of state is under contract. We know we're going to have to replace the roof. And, I think the buyer was going through the inspection period at that time. And within that inspection period, they had their inspection done and then they opted to cancel their contract. But the seller already knew that they would need to replace the roof. Now, the roof is a really big and pricey one. So it's not exactly the perfect example, but it is a good one. If you know that there is something that needs to be done to your home, and it's really obvious, and that it's going to be obvious to a buyer, it's going to be obvious even if they don't have an inspection, but if they do have an inspection, it's going to come up. Then either don't ignore it, and not ignoring it, I don't mean you need to fix it right away, but you need to disclose it, or you need to have a plan. True story, I had a client, and she had purchased a home. I did not help her purchase the home when she purchased it originally, and it was a resale home even back then. And then I helped her sell it, but she didn't have a lot of the answers to a lot of the questions. Like she wasn't sure how old the roof was because she couldn't really remember, and she didn't have a realtor that helped her when she bought it. And it was just kind of a mess. So we didn't really have some of the important information. So as it turns out, the home was there for a while. It did eventually sell, but she ended up having to put the new roof on it so that we could get it sold. And part of what, once we realized that was part of the problem, we had to come up with a plan. It's either, because someone's not going to be able to get insurance on the property if the roof needs to be replaced. And so you have to have that conversation. So not ignoring it, that also means understand, have a plan, disclose it, talk to put it in the listing, advertisement, or have your listing agent make sure that they put that in the realtor remarks. Roof will be replaced prior to closing, or seller will the seller will provide a $10,000 concession for the roof. I mean, whatever it is that you need to do. And that's just one example. Let's talk about the other ones, which is if you know that your sink has a leak, that every time you turn it on, there's a leak, or if you have, oh my gosh, if there's an appliance that constantly conks out, and you might need to have it serviced, make sure that you don't ignore those repairs. Take some time and fix them. A little bit will go a long way. And my granny used to say, a stitch in time saves nine, which I didn't know what it meant until I was older, and then I figured it out. But the point is, take care of some of these small items now so that they're not bigger items later. But definitely, if you're selling your home, don't ignore the repairs. Take some time, do some tiny touch-ups in preparation for your home going on the market. One of my biggest tips there is go get your AC maintenance before you list your home, so that you know that it has been serviced, it is clean, and it is looking good, and it is working properly before you get a buyer and the buyer does their inspection, because that always comes up in the inspection report. Okay, clean your home. Make sure that you give your home a really good, deep, thorough clean. Minimize the junk that's out and about. And I don't mean that it's junk. I just, the extra stuff, the extra decor, let's say decor, on counters and cabinets and shelves and in closets and in drawers. Although most people looking at your home aren't going to go in your drawers, but they may open cabinets. So make sure that you kind of clean the home, and make sure that floors are clean, baseboards are clean. Make sure that you have a good thorough cleaning before it goes on the market as well. Here's a biggie. This one is huge. Accept showing requests quickly and don't limit them. The number of times that, we'll have a showing request come in, and I'll say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we have a showing request for tomorrow at 3 p.m. And they're like, oh, well, you know what? I can't, 3 p.m. isn't good. Can they do 4? So we don't get to play that game with the buyer, right? 4 o'clock may be more convenient for you, but the buyer and the buyer's agent has mapped out their itinerary of where they're going. And I can guarantee you, it's not just your house. And if they want to see your home at 3 o'clock, we need to do everything within our power to accommodate that showing. Obviously, if there's something that is critical and there's just absolutely no way you can honor that request, understood, that's fine. But the answer should always be a quick and immediate yes, so that I can let the other agent know, so that she can let her clients know, so that they can get on with their showings for the day and keep you in their list of homes that they're going to see. And then you figure out on your end, okay, what am I going to do with the dogs? Okay. All right, wait, I have to do this. I'm going to see if I can enlist some help of a neighbor to go walk the dogs at 3 o'clock so that we can have the showing. But that really is a big one. Make sure that you accept the showing request quickly. When you get that message from your agent saying, hey, we have a showing request, respond as quickly as humanly possible, especially if you're living in the home. If you're not living in the home and we know that it can be automatically confirmed, that's one thing. At any rate, and then again, don't limit them. Don't say, hey, it'd be great if I could not have showings until noon, and then I don't want any showings after 4 p.m., and then no showings on Saturdays, but Sundays are okay. That is just a nightmare. Again, if it is absolutely critical, if there are reasons within your family and your situation that you have to do that, totally okay. But if it's just a matter of convenience, you need to understand that you're going to be inconvenienced while your home is on the market. And we don't want to make it any more difficult for someone to not see a property. I had a client, and legitimately, he wasn't feeling well. He was sick, and so he had to decline a showing. He's like, I've been under the weather. I don't know that I can do it. Maybe they can reschedule it for later. So understood. No hard feelings. Nobody's upset with anybody, but they didn't reschedule. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, well, we'll let you know if we want to reschedule. And we haven't heard from them. In a market where we are like baiting every buyer out there, you want to make sure that you do everything that you possibly can. All right, 2 other ones. The next one is offer a buyer broker concession. This may be controversial. Some of you may go, isn't that already part of the plan anyway? But with the new laws and the new rules that we have, it's important to make sure that you have that discussion with your agent. And here's why. Because I just had a situation where I had a situation where we came in at a full price offer for a property, and they didn't want to accept it because they didn't want to pay the buyer broker concession, which would be mine. And obviously the buyer doesn't want to pay that, right? We know that. This is why this whole new law is absolutely a pain in everybody's side. But what happened was, when the listing agent, when they had their conversation with their seller, they didn't really kind of explain the benefits of things. So it's a little difficult to come in at a full price offer and have them not accept it, because in addition to the full price offer, we were asking for the buyer broker concession. So here's the thing. Expect to have that. You just should. It will make your life easier in the end. Doesn't mean that you can't negotiate as things go forward. It doesn't mean that something can be changed when someone actually submits an offer, but you do not want to limit or lose a potential person because that's something that you weren't planning on offering because you didn't think you had to. Because the reality is, if you're not paying it as the seller, the buyer is not going to be able to buy your home. That's just the way that works. And that's why this whole new law is part of a pain on everybody's side. And it's not really, it's not beneficial as people might think it would be. And the last tip for seller mistakes is be patient. In this market, oh my goodness, you have to be patient. It is just slow going, uncharacteristically slow. Now we're hitting the true typical slow time. So don't worry. It will sell eventually. And yes, things might turn around after the first of the year and property values may go up. Foot traffic may go up, but at the moment, there's just a lot of inventory and not a lot of buyers, which means that it's a buyer's market, which means they have a lot of options out there and they have a little bit more pull on what home they would like to have. Okay, now I have to go over here because I've been driving me nuts. Okay, Kim, do you remember our conversation last week? And we were talking, I don't know what got us into the conversation, but we were talking about, Kim said the house that she used to live in was haunted. Okay, so Kim says from last week, from our conversation, the old house that I lived in, the doors and windows would open and close. The faucets would turn on and off all night. Ooh, too many other things to go into. And then Kim said, that's where I got into the bad habit of sleeping with the TV on to drown out all the noises. Well, I sleep with the TV on all the time too. It was the home of some breeders of champion collies and Westies, and they would not go upstairs at all. And the groomers would not come into the house, only the barn. Oh my gosh. There's some interesting, Kim, we need to like chat and have a little bit more, but yes, keep sharing. Anything else, just keep on sharing as those little tidbits, because I find that fascinating. Okay, let's head on to our third brewing topic so we can move on to the other fun stuff. Buyer mistakes. Okay, buyers, I did not forget you. Sellers may have some things that they need to work on, but so do you, my friends. So here are a few of the buyer mistakes. First of all, do not skip the pre-approval. Do not start house hunting. Do not start doing some of these things until you know what your price point is. You need to get the pre-approval. So do not skip that. If you are serious, that needs to be the first priority. First priority, get that pre-approval. Don't wait if it's right. Okay, so so if you have found a home and it is the right home for you, it's priced okay. You saw the home. Obviously, the price didn't scare you away. You got to see the home. Your agent, like if it's me or if it's another agent, I'm going to tell you, hey, I think it's priced pretty well, or I think it's too high, or I think it's too low. Depending on where you are on the house, if it is right, don't wait because you're waiting for it to come down. Because honestly, you may just lose it in that case. And that has happened too. If it's the right house, a $5,000 difference in the grand scheme of things is not going to be worth you losing it. Some people wait because they want the interest rates to come down. Well, the house may not even exist at that point. Somebody else may have already bought it, or maybe they took it off the market, or maybe the price of the home never goes down and you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting. There's just so many different things. The point is, if the home is what you want, you don't need to wait. If you're looking to buy because you need and want to buy, you have found a home that has checked off the boxes, the price is right, what are you waiting for? Like, you have a lot of control at the moment, buyers. So don't wait. If it's the right house, make a decision. As Eric would say, what are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to accomplish buying a house. If you found the house you want to buy, then buy it. Then let's get going. Know your credit score and how that may affect you. This is something that's really important too, because a lot of people don't know how to get their credit score. They don't know if it's good credit. They don't know if it's bad credit. They don't know what that would look like to a lender in the pre-approval process. So make sure that you do your due diligence. Find out what your credit score is. If you don't know what your credit score is, then if you start that pre-approval process, they will be pulling your credit. So you'll know at that point. But sometimes it's nice to just have as many things lined up and to set your own expectation in the beginning as possible. Once you are under contract, don't waive an inspection without a strategy. Now, if it is new construction, okay, that's going to be a little bit of an exception. If you are purchasing a new construction home, first of all, you don't have to have an inspection on that property. You can have an inspection. It's not required, and it's not quite as necessary potentially as a resale home, a home that's 5 or 10 or 15 years old. Even a home that's 2 years old can already start to present some issues. But usually a brand new home, you don't necessarily have an inspection to waive. But it's not required. You can always, as we've said a gazillion trillion times, do your home inspection once your 1-year warranty from the builder is about to expire. Get an inspection done then, and then try to maximize those items that you find during that inspection with the builder's warranty. But if it's a resale home, don't waive the inspection, even if it's the crazy, cuckoo crazy time where people were giving everything they could possibly give to get their offer accepted because we were in a seller's market at that time. Then you can still have your inspection done and still keep yourself safe. You just may not offer or ask for any inspection request if there were any items in that. Again, there just needs to be a strategy involved. We had one recently where when we came in with a really good offer, we knew that we came in at a very good offer. We knew the house was not in great condition. We knew that the couple that owned the home had not done maintenance on it consistently. There were very visible issues with the home. But they had priced it, honestly, they had priced it well for the condition that it was in. And so I told my clients, let's come in strong with our offer. Let's not ask for our closing cost contribution right now. Let's not come in under asking because they've already priced it really well. And we know that there are going to be some inspection items. And therefore, we came in with a good offer, knowing that when we got the inspection report, at that point, we would be requesting probably a concession from the seller so that my buyer could get those inspection items taken care of after closing, do some of those items himself, or have a company that he chooses to do the repairs, replacing and things like that. But have a strategy in mind when it comes to those inspections. This is a really simple tip. Do not make big purchases while you are under contract. If you are under contract to buy a home and you have not closed yet, don't go buy a new car. Just don't do it. Make sure that if there is something that needs to be purchased that is a decent amount, call your loan officer, the person that's been helping you with your pre-approval, and say, hey, silly question. Excuse me. I need to get tires on my car. Excuse me. I need to get tires on my car. Is it okay if I go spend $1,300? I need that. Then they'll be able to say, yeah, do that. Or they might say, can you wait 2 more weeks and get closed and then do it. So make sure that you know that. Choose your agent wisely. That's really important too. A lot of times people are like, well, I'm going to pick my cousin, friends, uncles, nephews, brother. And that's fine. That's great. I'm sure they're a lovely, wonderful person. But it is important to make sure that you pick an agent that has some experience so that they can be strategic in a market where it is not easy. It is not easy right now. It's not easy to get your home sold. And even as the buyer, it's hard to find exactly what it is that you're looking for. So make sure you choose your agent wisely so that you can have some knowledge behind just the going to see a home. Don't forget, oh my goodness, do not forget HOA, taxes, insurance, and home maintenance when you are thinking of your own monthly budget. I promise you that your lender is not going to let you forget these things. But when you start to do your own prep work for this, and you start to do your own prep work for this, and you start thinking, okay, I want to buy a house and this is how much I can afford. Don't forget things like that. If you don't know what the HOA is going to be, of course you don't, because you haven't found the house yet. But budget, put a placeholder number in there. Don't just leave it blank. Put something in there and over guess. Make sure that taxes and insurance, home maintenance, make sure you kind of take a look at that. Am I going to have to paint the house within the next, 3 years that I own the home? Or am I going to have to replace that garage door opener right away? Or any of the things that you might be thinking about. Make sure that you budget those things in so that you don't have any mistakes. You don't have any last minute items. So anyway, okay. I think I have all of that. That was a lot of talk for a lot of buyer and seller kind of hints, tips, and tricks. What I love is that you guys are just scrolling all over here. So we talked to Kim. So wait, hold on. Okay, so the first time we heard noise from downstairs and most of the windows were open, we called the police and they said it couldn't have been anyone from outside because there was snow on the ground because there was no footprints. Intriguing. Kim said, or Jane says, spooky. Kim says, my friend and I lived there for 6 months while the owners were in Florida for the winter. It was a very interesting experience. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's rather, they're going to make sure that is all in the up and up. And they're also going to continue to ask you for documents that you may need. You may have already submitted them. They're going to ask them for you again. So just make sure that you know that and don't be frustrated in the end. Okay. All right. I hear you guys are all over here. She's back on my end. I went out and came back in. Anyway, so I don't know what's going on. I'm fine right here. I'm just going to keep on talking. All right. Let's move on to some of our other things. So where was Jay's? There we go. Okay, let's move on to, let's go to wishes because I forgot wishes last week. Okay, so we have a lot of wishes, a lot of congratulations for different reasons. So we have Jim is under contract for a beautiful resale home. Michael and Colleen are under contract to build a beautiful home with Pulte. Gary, we are so excited, has closed on his home. So that means that he, as he was saying earlier, does not have to carry 2 mortgages. Yay. Got his not only on the market, took a while, took some crazy things back and forth, but we made it to the finish line, and that's ultimately what matters. We got there. Patrina, Sean, and Shannon closed on their home, new construction with KB Home. So congratulations to them. Sherry has a closing coming up this week. And Samara, we're super excited that my fantastic builder contacts, I cannot tell you enough how important if we are doing a new construction, purchase together, how important those builder contacts are. And I have to tell you, sometimes things can get a little bit tricky and you could be contracted to build and then something happens and something changes. And I will tell you that Larissa with Dream Finders she's always been just stellar and has worked so well with so many of my clients. But the fact that she was able to get my clients to switch them from one property to another property that's actually a quick move-in that will help them out in several different ways to make it a more efficient and a more beneficial purchase for them. That comes directly from having the right people in my pocket to talk to and to have them really, really working on behalf of my clients to get everybody to where we need to be. So, So anyway, so congratulations to all of them. And again, we've got closings coming up this week, so we're super excited about that. All right, I'm going to keep moving because I know that my thing keeps, I guess I'm buffering. So I want to make sure I get as many of these things in as I can. Let's go to Word.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Okay, PITI, Principal, Interest, Taxes, and Insurance. That's what that stands for. So when you are looking and speaking to your lender and you are getting to the end and you're getting your loan estimate, there's going to be a lot of information on there. They're going to have the loan amount. They're going to have the interest rate amount. They're going to have this amount and that amount and seller credit and buyer this. And it's going to be a lot of information. And sometimes they'll give you an amount and then they give you a little bit larger amount. And that is going to include the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That is going to be your mortgage payment that you're going to pay each time. And so that's important to know because a lot of times you look at the closing disclosure and you'll see one number. You want to make sure you're looking at the larger number that is including your PITI, your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Most of you know that, but a lot of times, people don't quite get it. That's the number that you need to look at. It will be more expensive, but it's because it includes those items, which are also important. By the way, shop your homeowner's insurance. Most lenders have great contacts and they have the ability to shop that for you or to give you a few people for you to check with. But it's also okay to do your own due diligence and reach out. Maybe you can bundle your auto insurance or your life insurance with homeowners insurance if you have a company that kind of has an umbrella that services those different sections of insurance. But always do your due diligence, reach out, check, see what you can find. because there's a possibility that you could lower at least the homeowner's insurance. Okay, all right, let's move on. Let's do our listings because I want to get through those as well. Okay, so we are doing our listing spotlight. We have spotlighted this one before, but it is still available, and we have done a price reduction as well as a closing cost contribution. And so we are ready for you guys to purchase this one. This is a beautiful villa in the Four Seasons community, which is a 55 plus community by Kay Hovnanian there in Kissimmee, very close to Disney. It's a great location. It's nice. It's tucked away. There's a golf course that runs throughout it. In fact, you can see my listing is the one that is on the left. So this is a villa, meaning there's two houses that are connected. My clients are on the left side, and they obviously back up to the golf course. If you take a look at the couple of the pictures in there, beautiful kitchen. You've got the white cabinets, gorgeous backsplash. There's no carpet in this house. It's all tile. So there's no tripping hazards with carpet. Plus a lot of people just don't like carpet. The closets, if you look at that second picture at the bottom, look at the closet. There's custom closets done in there. That definitely elevates the value of that property. The back lanai has already been screened in, and the yard is also already fenced. So if you've got that cute little fur baby, this could be a great spot for you. Again, this is in Four Seasons, 55 plus community Kay Hovnanian. They're doing a $10,000 closing cost contribution, and we did just lower the price on this as well. This is a great spot if you are one of those not empty nesters, snowbirds that would like to come and have maybe a second home here in Florida so that you can enjoy where it's cold at home. You can come enjoy some of the warmth and some of the wonderful things that keep people coming back to Disney all the time and keep coming back to our little neck of the woods here. So if that's one for you, let me know. We have lots of other listings for you as well, though. So we've still got our one in Winter Garden, $15,000 closing cost contribution. Beautiful one-story floor plan. Mineola, beautiful two-story floor plan. We actually had 2 showings this weekend for that one. Yay. Cross your fingers. Bottom left-hand corner, big, beautiful Winter Garden, 1-story, 3-car garage, big, beautiful Ashby floor plan. On the right-hand side, this one is under contract and scheduled to close this week. So we are excited about that one. Lots of fun last-minute things happening. Super excited with that one. And then, of course, we have Davenport 2-story. We have another 55 plus. The one in the bottom left-hand corner is our featured one. The one in the middle is the one at Del Webb Oasis. So if you also would like a 55 plus villa, but you want to be right smack dab there in Horizon West, and you want to be like not even like maybe 3 minutes to the back arches at Disney, then you can call me on our beautiful Del Webb villa that is in Del Webb Oasis there in Horizon West. Upper right-hand corner is the Meritage New Construction Bungalow. Closing cost contribution offered there from the builder. And then the bottom right-hand corner is the beautiful end-unit townhome in the Horizon West community of Hawksmoor. Also closing cost contribution on that one. So lots and lots and lots of houses for sale. You can see, you are seeing this in real time as you are with me every Monday. Some of these listings have been here a while, and we're doing everything we can. We're being strategic. We're swapping this out. We're Maggie, no ma'am. Or we are, or we're offering incentives. So there's lots of things that we're doing to try to get these under contract. But this is just part of where we are in real estate in the market at the moment. So, all right, let's see. I want to show you what I'm watching. Okay. So I don't know how I stumbled across this, but I absolutely loved it. This is a fantastic watch. I don't know how many episodes there were. I don't know, 6, 7, I don't know, but it was really, really, really good. It is called The Truth About the Harry Kubert Affair with Patrick Dempsey. And I don't know, I'm guessing this was off of a book, but this was so good. This was a real thriller in a lot of senses. It was really, really interesting. And it kept you coming back. You couldn't really understand or see what was happening. It was all kind of getting pieced together. And there's always a shocker, and there's always something else going on. You're like, oh, I didn't even see that coming. So if you like that type of a movie or a series, I highly recommend this one. This one's really good. So it's one of those that when it was over, I was like, oh, is there another season? I mean, probably not, because everything kind of, it came together full circle in the end. So probably not another, but it was really good. So worth watching if you want to find something to snuggle in. If it's getting dreary where you are, if it's cold where you are, if it's chilly and you want to open the windows and let some of that crisp air in and snuggle up under some blankets, there's a good watch for you. So anyway, all right, let's move ourselves on. I do have some baby pictures. Okay, I just a couple of pictures, and they're probably not the perfect pictures. In fact, I look at Elsie's; it's probably not the crispest picture, but they were very cute. They as a family went out to have dinner the other night. I think it was Texas Roadhouse, but they sent a little video, and this is actually a screenshot of the video, which is probably why it's a little grainy. But Elsie, that's a lemon in her hand, and so she was just kind of eating on the lemon, and I just thought that little screenshot there was just super cute. She's just such a doll baby. And there's Mr. Easton looking very, very, very deep in thought. I'm so excited. He is actually visiting his grandparents this weekend, his other grandparents, and my heart is just so happy that they are together and that they get to see him because they have not seen him since he was born. And so, what a tremendous change since that little cute baby was born to being able to to see him now toddling around and he's got some words and communicating and dancing and smiling and laughing and giggling, and both of them are just my absolute little treasures. So I thought I'd share them with you again. Elizabeth says that Elsie, she loved the Texas Roadhouse rolls with the cinnamon butter. Of course she did. She's got good taste. She knows how it works. All right. Now, the last thing I guess I want to go over is cup. So I don't have a whole picture, so I won't run the whole little bumper for cup. But I will tell you, last night I had so much fun. So Liverpool played yesterday, and I'm sure you guys probably remember Shafiq. I don't see him on this morning, but Liverpool soccer football is Eric's favorite, my boy's favorite, and they still watch the matches. And yesterday I came downstairs for something, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to watch with us?" And so we watched Liverpool, and that was fantastic, and they won, yay! But then a little bit later on, we just all kind of sat together and we talked and we cried a lot because we talked about Eric quite a bit and got some pictures that they had taken of Eric the last days that I did not have. So we talked about that. So it was a really, my cup runneth over because it was therapeutic, and it was just good. It was good. So anyway, so I'm not crying. I'm not crying. Elizabeth says, love my Easton man. Yes, you do. Sydney says, I'll watch at the beginning. Well, Melody, apparently I was glitching the whole time. So I don't know. Maybe this wasn't one of our best ones. Sydney, that's a pleasant lemon face. I have to tell you, Sydney, I thought the same thing. I have twin nieces. My older sister has twin girls now. They're, they're women now. One of them's married, has 2 kids of her own. But when my twin nieces were little, they would lemons in their hands and just eat them, and their faces wouldn't pucker or anything. They just ate them like it was just anything else. But Elsie kind of did the same thing. She just had a little inquisitive face on. Anyway, all right, guys. I think that's it. I think the only other thing is weather. I'll pop up weather for you. my friends, I hope that wherever you are, whether you are here in Florida, whether you are out and about, whether you are on vacation, whether you live out of the state or out of the country, or if you live next door, I just hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Whether you have already celebrated or done something fun for Labor Day or not. I hope you take some time to do that. And of course, as always, when you've got questions, give me a call, 407-848-8042. Call or text, easiest way to get up with me. And with that, my friends, we're getting out a little bit early today because I actually have a 10 o'clock phone call. So I want to make sure I scooch out so I can go have a potty break and come back and refill my drink and my coffee and have another Zoom meeting with a client. So with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Stay safe, stay well. Remember, I love you. I so appreciate our time together. And as always, happy house hunting, guys. I will see you guys next Monday. Bye.